Talking hoops, Akil Augustine, Ashley Docking, Paul Jones, Pascal Siakam, Tyrese Halliburton, the Indiana Pacers, the Toronto Raptors. It's going down. Scotiabank Arena, return of our guy Spicy P. Let's start with the legacy of Spicy P. We know he'll be looking in the stands for those jerseys, and they will be present, Ashley. But now we have an opportunity to see Pascal play for a team that's, in the mix. This Pacers team is one of the teams of the future. Your thoughts on how he fits?
Well, I want to go back to your comment about just Pascal and like what he's meant to the city for a hot second, just because we really watched him grow up, right?
Yeah.
Like he came in as this unbridled, excited young kid who had taken to basketball late in his life, but just excelled at it. He was always so happy, sometimes a little overzealous, sometimes getting
jubilant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
His signature spin move really turned into something that was unguardable in the league. He won a championship here, and he did it all with a smile on his face. So I think that he's meant a lot to the city. His comments about playing for the Pacers were interesting. Did you see the press conference where someone asked about how Toronto is so diverse and multicultural, and then now you're here in Indianapolis? Like, what's that like? And he was kind of just like, so
Nightlife is going to be different.
Yeah, nightlife. So I think that there's definitely a bit of a culture shock, but at the end of the day, it's halfway through the season. Ball is ball. The Pacers are in a position to get into the playoffs. And
Winning cures most things.
It does.
Well,
it's
exactly.
a great deodorant,
and
right?
it can just be a relief, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, to your point, it's not an antiperspirant. It's not stopping the sweating. But
Jonesy, look at that, 41.9% from
Iconic.
three. And that's one of the sore spots for Raptors fans with Pascal, but he seemed to figure it out.
Well, he's just knocking them down. It's not like he wasn't taking them in Toronto. He wasn't making them with that regularity, that frequency. I want to kind of hop on what Ashley said about the other side of basketball. We watched him grow up as a basketball player here, but we also watched him grow up as a person. And the scholarships, the things he's done in the community, just the way he treated people. The way
Took care of his brothers.
the way he loved the city, like that stuff is legacy building. Like, yeah, you know what? On the court, people look at you, but to Ashley's point, we watched him grow up. I can remember him in his first year coming here, and in the article in the Players Tribune talking about getting a driver's license because he'd never been anywhere long enough. He was always a couple of years here, but he put roots down in Toronto, and seeing this young guy, him and Jakob Poeltl on the street in Charlotte singing "Oh Canada," like it was just like he was so happy to have been to have found a home where he's accepted. People love him. He talked about going out into the community, finding African stores like Cameroonian treats and stuff like that. Like to me, that's part of the whole person. And I got to tell you, it was tough to see him go, but we understand the business side of it.
I hate to do it because Pascal is one of my favorite Raptors, a good friend, but we got to move on because come tomorrow night, he's one of the bad guys on a historic and prolific offense that we need to shut down, Jonesy.
Cheer him, and then once the ball goes up, he's just another cat on the other team.
Cheer him.
And that other team is hard to stop. How do the Raptors approach slowing down this legendary Pacers offense?
Well, look, to me, it's kind of like playing Golden State when they started this whole revolution in the NBA. You're not necessarily going to stop them. You need key stops. But your offense has to be on to keep you in the game.
It's got to be up and down.
Yeah, you got to keep up with them.
You have to keep pace.
And
their defense
pace
will
with
allow
the
for it.
Pacers.
Dun, dun, dun.
And
Apt.
I also look at this and say, we talk about the evolution of people. Rick Carlisle, like letting his team go up and down and
The
shoot 'em up
curmudgeon,
You
Rick
never wanna-
Carlisle.
He's not quite a curmudgeon. He's not on pop level.
Okay.
But he's
He's
tier
next
two.
up, though.
No,
He's next
I
up.
like him.
Is
Name the other
curmudgeon
guy.
grumpus?
Name the other guy.
he can be a little grumpy at times, but he's a coach, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But just to look at his team going up and down the way it is now, you would never think a Rick Carlisle team 10, 15 years ago, he would allow people to do that. But look at what success. And that I tip my hat to him as a coach as well.
One of the players, too, that gets to kind of hide within this and, like, find themselves and kind of stretch their legs is Ben Mathurin, right? Quebec native. He is so poised. He is so strong. Defensively, he can hang. He could put the ball in the bucket. And so behind Halliburton, who you're talking about, behind Pascal Siakam, then he gets to kind of weave his way in. And in this instance, he's a role player for them, but I think his potential and his ceiling is more than just that label. And so that's what makes them so dangerous. I think they're sitting in 7th now. They were 6th earlier in January, 7th now, but that allows them to have this runway, if you will, depending on how their season goes for the rest of the year, to really be somebody who you don't want to see it early in the playoffs.
Another Canadian that we haven't talked about is Andrew Nembhard.
I was going to say, it's a return home for a lot of guys.
I mean, a kid from Aurora, and he's played really well. Like when Halliburton was out, there were times when he really, really did a nice job for them. He's not Tyrese Halliburton. Nobody asked him to be. Yeah, exactly. But he did a terrific job, and he's another guy that kind of fits in with what Rick Carlisle's trying to do.
All right, so it should be some good basketball played Wednesday night at the Scotiabank Arena. You got the Raptors, you got a couple of Canadians coming home, you got Pascal returning, and you can catch it all on the Sportsnet family of networks, the TV call on Sportsnet, the radio call Sportsnet Fan 590, 7:30 tip. That does it for us here on Raptors Today. And then, guys, it's All-Star break, so I guess we'll see you guys
going?
after the break. Me, I'm no comment on where I'll be. No one needs to know where I'll be. Don't worry. We in these streets. I'll tell that to my girlfriend. Later.
Thanks for watching the Toronto Raptors YouTube channel. Check out our latest video and subscribe for more.
Denied. Lead pass. Here's McDaniels. In a crowd. Wide open three.